Here on Pure Nebraska, we have told you about Gene Steinmeier, an author from Clatonia who penned a book featuring the stories of World War II veterans from around the area.
Now Gene has another book featuring a different kind of history. So joining us now is Gene Steinmeier. Thanks for being on the show today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yes.
So tell us about this new book, what it's about.
Well, it's about 21 years ago, a devastating tornado came through Nebraska, and it's focused on Hallam because it destroyed 95% of that town. But there's a lot of stories along the way. It started near Dakin, Nebraska, and ended near Palmyra, and a lot of farmsteads were hit, but Hallam was the focus, and it just devastated Hallam. But in a way, it's kind of a neat story how they rebuilt. The city council, the mayor, he wasn't called the mayor, but they were really young, and they just dug in and rebuilt that town.
Yeah. What did you learn about when you wrote this book? What did you learn about the tornado, and maybe just in your research, what did you learn?
Well, first of all, it was a record tornado. There's only been one tornado in history wider than the Hallam tornado. Actually, Hallam was just kind of on the northern edge of it, but it was 2.5 miles wide. Only a tornado at Reno, Oklahoma, about 4 years later, was wider by 1/10 of a mile. Now, I don't know how you judge that stuff, but the stories of survival is what's amazing to me. Only one death in Hallam, and how people survived it, and that was the amazing part of it. And then the relationships. I've got one story in there where there were 4 teenagers trapped in a basement, and it was kind of neat. They were rescued in a way by some storm chasers that later on made their mark on a network TV called the Twister Sisters. And they became lifelong friends. And like famous authors came to interview them, and a BBC station from England came and they did some storm chasing. So there's just some neat stories in Hallam and outside of Hallam.
What goes into making a book like this? A lot of research, right?
Yeah, and that's, in a way, that's kind of the fun part of it. I enjoy the research. This one was pretty easy because of the newspaper articles and the television. You know, I looked up what you guys did. You know, everything's on YouTube now. you can pick up everything. And so this research was really easy. It was just finding the survivors that wanted to talk.
Yeah.
There were some that didn't want to talk. Some didn't return my calls, but the ones that did were just really great people.
Yeah. Where would someone go to get this book?
Well, it is, and I don't know if it is quite yet. It's going to be on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, but I have a travel agency in Crete where you can stop in any time and pick up a signed copy if you want.
Okay.
And also, on Sunday, we're going to be in Hallam, and almost all the survivors will gather together from 12:30 to probably about 1:30 or 2 o'clock in Hallam. We'll start at the community center and then actually go to this bar next door. I think it's called the Railway Bar now. Back then, it was called McDonald's Pub, and 9 people survived by going into the cooler. And the characters were painted on the cooler door, and that character's still there today.
Okay.
Wow.
Very
Okay,
good.
so that's happening this Sunday.
This Sunday.
That's this Sunday,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Gene, thank you for coming in.
Oh, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
You bet. Okay.